The Middle East has long been one of the most volatile regions in the world. At the center of many tensions stand three powerful actors: Iran, United States, and Israel. While there is no officially declared full-scale war between Iran and America today, nor a direct conventional war between Iran and Israel, what exists is something more complex. A shadow conflict. A conflict fought through proxies, cyber operations, intelligence missions, airstrikes, sanctions, and strategic messaging. To understand the current tensions, we must go back decades. Visual, archival footage of the 1979 Iranian Revolution, showing protests and crowds. In 1979, the Iranian Revolution transformed Iran from a Western-aligned monarchy into an Islamic republic. Deeply critical of American influence, since then, relations between Tehran and Washington have been defined by mistrust, economic sanctions, diplomatic isolation, and military threats became common features of the relationship. Israel, meanwhile, views Iran's regional ambitions and nuclear program as an existential threat. Iranian leaders have consistently criticized Israeli policies, while Israel has conducted covert operations to slow Iran's nuclear progress. Visual news footage, or graphics, depicting the U.S. drone strike that killed Qasem Soleimani in January 2020. Over the past few years, tensions escalated sharply. In January 2020, a U.S. drone strike killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in Iraq. Soleimani was a senior military commander and one of the most influential figures in Iran's regional strategy. Visual footage or graphics of missile strikes on military bases representing Iran's response to the drone strike. His death marked one of the most dangerous moments between Washington and Tehran in recent history. Iran responded with missile strikes on U.S. bases in Iraq. While no American soldiers were killed in those attacks, dozens reportedly suffered traumatic brain injuries. The world feared escalation into open war, but both sides stepped back from direct confrontation. Since then, the conflict has shifted largely to indirect arenas. In Syria, Israeli airstrikes have targeted Iranian-linked positions. In Iraq, militias aligned with Iran have occasionally targeted American forces. In the Persian Gulf, incidents involving oil tankers and naval vessels have raised tensions. Visual, news, footage, or imagery related to the October 2023 conflict between Israel and Hamas. Casualties in this broader shadow conflict include militia fighters, military personnel, and civilians caught in cross-border strikes. Exact numbers are difficult to verify because many operations remain classified or disputed. The most dramatic escalation came after the October 2023 conflict between Israel and Hamas. Visual imagery depicting the Israeli strike on Iran's diplomatic presence in Damascus in April 2024. As Israel launched military operations in Gaza, regional tensions widened. Footage or graphics of Iran's direct missile and drone attack towards Israeli territory in April 2024. Iranian-backed groups in Lebanon, Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. Increased activity. Israel carried out strikes against targets it described as linked to Iran. In April 2024, a major turning point occurred when Israel struck a building associated with Iran's diplomatic presence in Damascus. Several senior Iranian officers were reportedly killed. In response, Iran launched a direct missile and drone attack toward Israeli territory. This marked one of the first times Iran directly launched a large-scale attack on Israel from its own soil. Hundreds of drones and missiles were fired. However, most were intercepted by Israeli air defense systems, with assistance from the United States and allied forces. Damage inside Israel was limited compared to the scale of the attack, though some infrastructure and military sites were reportedly affected. On Iran's side, Israeli retaliatory strikes were more limited, but symbolically significant. Casualty figures from these exchanges remain relatively low compared to full-scale wars, but the strategic impact was enormous. The line between shadow war and direct confrontation blurred. Economically, Iran continues to suffer under U.S. sanctions. Inflation, currency devaluation, and restricted oil exports have strained the Iranian economy. Israel, while economically stronger, faces security pressures and increased military spending due to ongoing regional tensions. The United States maintains military bases across the Middle East. American troops have occasionally come under attack from militia groups in Iraq and Syria. On Israel's side, ongoing conflicts with Hamas and Hezbollah create a multi-front security challenge. Hezbollah, based in Lebanon and backed by Iran, possesses tens of thousands of rockets. Exchanges of fire along the Israel-Lebanon border have led to casualties on both sides. So far, there's not been a full-scale conventional war between Iran and Israel involving ground invasions, but the potential remains. Military analysts describe the situation as deterrence through pressure. Iran seeks to expand influence without triggering overwhelming retaliation. Israel aims to prevent Iran from establishing permanent military infrastructure near its borders. The United States plays a dual role, supporting Israel while attempting to avoid a wider regional war. How much damage has occurred so far? Human losses include Iranian military officers killed in targeted strikes, militia fighters in Syria and Iraq, Israeli soldiers and civilians in related conflicts, American personnel injured in regional attacks. Infrastructure damage has included military facilities in Syria, missile sites, and radar systems. Limited damage to Israeli bases. Economic strain across the region due to instability. But compared to historical wars like the Iran-Iraq War of the 1980s, current casualties remain significantly lower. The real danger lies not in what has happened, but in what could happen next. If tensions escalate into full war, scenarios could include massive missile exchanges between Iran and Israel, Hezbollah entering full conflict from Lebanon, US forces directly engaging Iranian military assets, disruption of oil shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, global energy price spikes. Iran possesses thousands of ballistic missiles and a large drone arsenal. Israel has advanced air defense systems like Iron Dome and David Sling, as well as a powerful air force. The United States maintains naval fleets in the region. A direct war would likely involve airstrikes, cyber warfare, naval blockades, and proxy engagements rather than immediate large-scale ground invasions. Global powers such as Russia and China monitor the situation closely, while European nations push for the biggest flashpoint remains Iran's nuclear program. Western nations fear Iran could move closer to developing a nuclear weapon. Iran insists its program is peaceful. Diplomatic negotiations have stalled multiple times, yet war is costly for all sides. Iran risks devastating airstrikes on infrastructure. Israel risks sustained rocket barrages and economic disruption. The United States risks being drawn into another prolonged Middle Eastern conflict. So far, all actors appear to be walking a narrow line, responding strongly enough to maintain deterrence, but cautiously enough to avoid total war. What happens next depends on several factors: whether nuclear negotiations resume, whether proxy attacks escalate, whether miscalculations occur during strikes, domestic political pressures within each country. History shows that wars sometimes begin not through deliberate decisions, but through miscalculations and unintended escalation. The Middle East remains a region where alliances are fluid, tensions are layered, and actions carry global consequences. For now, the Iran-US Israel confrontation remains a shadow war. Dangerous, unpredictable, but contained. The world watches closely, because in a region where missiles can cross borders in minutes and alliances stretch across continents, even a small spark can ignite something much larger. And the question remains, will deterrence hold? Or is the region moving slowly toward a conflict that no side truly wants, but may struggle to avoid?